You start them at Nehemiah. Nehemiah built the city. You can read which the scriptures say he shows his word unto Jacob, his laws and statutes unto Israel. Okay, so I'll read it again. It says in the verse 26, and after 62 weeks shall the Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come, and the people of the prince that shall come. So you notice that this last week is offset, but it says after Christ dies, which is 40 years, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. It's still elaborating on verse 26. The prince will be Titus Vespasian, or you could say whoever was the emperor of the Roman army at that time, whoever was the leader or ruler of the Roman army at that time. So it says with many for 1 week. This is the last week. We already got through 69 from Artaxerxes to Christ. And then it says this prince shall come and he's going to have a week, which is 7 years. Now, I should have pulled this up earlier, but let me get this real quick. Let's see how long the Roman Jewish wars were. Let's see if coincidentally they may have been 7 years. This prince is Titus. He came and destroyed the temple and he made a covenant for 1 week, but he broke it in the middle of the week. Let's see if the Roman Jewish wars were 7 years. So here we are. It's easy to look up. 66 AD to 73 AD. That's 7 years. This is the week. This is the last week. This is the 70th week. What happens in the middle of the week? What is the middle of 66 AD and 73 AD? 70 AD. All right? Depending on if you started middle 66 AD, you can go and get the particulars, but middle of 66 AD and 73 AD would be 70 AD when the temple was destroyed. This is pinpoint prophecy and it's simple. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So let's read it. It says, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week, which is 70 AD, he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. How's that? Because he destroyed the temple. Okay. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So what was this? What is this saying? Overkill.
So y'all can see the first Roman Jewish war was from 66 to 73 CE or AD. In the middle of that is what? 70 AD. Remember that. So 66 to 73 is what? 7 years, coincidentally, right? Go ahead to 27.
Verse 27. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
He shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. Right? Confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. What's that week? 66 to 73. That's the week. Right? The covenant being confirmed. We'll expound on that in a second. Go ahead.
And in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease.
Why was the sacrifice and oblation caused to cease? It's very simple. Because in the midst of the week, what happened in the middle of 66 to 73 is 70 AD when the temple is destroyed. We all know that history, right? So that's why it says, and in the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. Because when the temple is destroyed, we now are what? Unable to make sacrifices and oblations to our God. Right? Go ahead.
It says, and for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate.
That's right. So let's deal with what it means to confirm the covenant of many for 1 week. Right? So now let's get that. Let's skip up back to 9 and 11. Daniel 9 and 11 to 12. Read that.
Daniel 9 and 11. Yea, all Israel had transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us.
The curses of Deuteronomy 28. The curse is poured upon us. Read.
In the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
Read on.
And he hath confirmed his words.
He did what?
Confirmed his words.
He confirmed his words. How did he confirm his word? Because the curse was poured out upon us. So when you deal with 70 AD, that's relating directly to the curses of Deuteronomy 28. Damn near all of them happened to us in this 7-year period. So that's why it says, he shall confirm the covenant with many, all the Israelites that were in Judea, for 1 week, right? From 66 to 73. And that's how the covenant was being confirmed. The curses coming upon us during the time of 70 AD, right? So, and then, of course, we were left desolate. But, you know, it's very powerful, and I wanted to make sure we expound and quantify, you know, because it's very important prophecy to know, even though it's just a few verses, and to know all the historical context that goes into it and the precepts that goes with it. So,
let's go back. So that was 70 AD. So when you go from 420 BC to 70 AD, it's approximately 490. Okay, 490. Okay, where we at, Officer Leon? That's the 70 week. Let's read back to Daniel 9. And we're what verse?
26.
We're at 27 now. Because people go, oh, it's only 69 weeks. Where is the 70th week at? Watch the next verse.
Daniel 9 and verse 27.
Because read 25 again. Read 25 again.
Yes.
The 70th week is mentioned right here. That's that 1 week. Verse 27 again.
And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
Remember, Rome had a covenant with the Israelites. They allowed us to continue sacrificing. They allowed us to be in our land and do what we wanted to do.
And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week.
He had an agreement. Mm-hmm.
And in the midst of the week,
in the midst of that week,
he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease.
He put out edicts. No more sacrificing. No more.
Fucked up. You too, Mel. You fucked up.
Don't go too far, Tony.
I ain't not, Mel.
Now, I don't know if you know Daniel 2. Daniel 1 is pretty much self-explanatory. Daniel 3, 4, and 5. Daniel 10, you have to do a little breakdown. Daniel 8, you have to break down. Daniel 9 is really around the late 20th, 25th, 24th, 27th verse, around there, which Edomites teach that that's talking about the rapture. That's not talking about the rapture. Daniel, the 9th chapter, around about the 26th, 27th verse, already took place. It already took place. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me go into it a little bit. Now you got to go into Daniel. What is it? Daniel 9. Now you got to go into certain names and dates. Try that again. Daniel 9. It speaks about in the 24th verse, 70 weeks are determined upon the people and upon the Holy Land to finish the transgression and to make an end of sin and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. In a nutshell, that's talking about 70 weeks goes into 490 years, going back to the time of the building. The order was given to build a temple by Cyrus. So you gotta do some math. You gotta go backwards. You know, when did Cyrus come on the scene?
Uh, 70 weeks would be what? 70 weeks would be what? I'm sorry, 490 years. 490 years. So there's a starting point to that when they built the temple. to the point where the temple was destroyed. So we got to go in the history of Cyrus and the three Darius, first, second, and third, and then we're gonna have to jump to the Roman Empire to the time of Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. All right, because the temple was already built, but it was going to be destroyed again a third time, defiled the third time. Go ahead.
70 weeks are determined upon thy people. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem.
The going forth of the commandment was from Cyrus. All right, go ahead.
It says, from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times.
The Most High, Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua is with us. Go ahead.
And it came to pass when our enemies heard that it was known unto us, and the Most High had brought their counsel to naught, that they returned all of us to the wall, every one unto his work. And it came to pass from that time forth that the half of my servants wrought in the work, and the other half of them held both the spears, the shields, and the bows, and the harbingers, and the rulers were behind all the house of Judah. It says, they which builded on the wall, and they that bear burdens with those that laid it, every one with one of his hands wrought in the work, and with the other hand held a weapon.
Yeah, because them other nations didn't want us to build back Jerusalem, man. All right? Now let's go back to where we left off. So that's the part where it meant by troublous times. That was after the fact that Darius found out through the records that Cyrus gave the order, so they gave them the money, the monetary funds, to build Jerusalem. But it was built up in troublous time. What was the troublous time? Those other nations conspiring together to stop us from building. Go ahead.
This is back in Daniel chapter 9, verse 26. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary and the...
Yeah, because the city wasn't destroyed back during the time of Darius, during the time of the Greeks. That came along about 400, almost 500 years later. From the time of them building, 490, 500, because the scholars have put down dates and stuff, and they're off by 10 years, 20 years. All right? Matter of fact, what's the year there right there?
This one here says 538 BC.
Now go to the one and go to Ezra. Let's see what it says. Okay.
This is the book of Ezra, the 4th chapter, right? 536 BC.
Okay. Now if you go to either the first...
522 BC.
Right, but there was a point where it said 4. I don't know if you go a couple of chapters up.
That was in Nehemiah 445 BC.
Go ahead.
Nehemiah is 445 BC.
Yeah, so it was around that time period, all right? Now, these so-called scholars that put these red books together, they put the dates in there, but they go off on the dates. But it's around about that time. It's around about that time, about 500, 400 some odd years before the Lord even came on the scene.
Daniel chapter 9, verse 26. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood.
Right, the end thereof shall be with a flood is talking about when the Romans took down Jerusalem. Because there was a point where we had a good relationship with the Caesars.
Daniel chapter 9, verse 26. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off.
Yeah, the Messiah was crucified. Go ahead.
But not for himself.
Yeah, because he was crucified for the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood.
That flood came in the form of the Roman armies through Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian, all right?
Vespasian, a Roman general who began the siege of Jerusalem in the first
So this was the end of the 70 weeks in Daniel, the 9th chapter. Go ahead. But like I said, if we was to really go deep into this, man, we'd be doing this for the next 3 months. So it's up to you to do your studies and to learn this history, all right? The key people that you got to study on is during the time of Israel coming out of Babylon, during the time of Cyrus, during the time of the 3 Darius. Go ahead.
It says, Vespasian, a Roman general who began the siege of Jerusalem in the first Jewish war of rebellion against Rome, AD 66 through 70. In the midst of the siege, he was named Roman emperor, and he ruled from 69 to 79. His son Titus, who took over the siege in Jerusalem and pursued it to its conclusion, also succeeded him as emperor 79 through 81. See also Titus.
Now go to Titus. Now, the Lord, before he was crucified, was telling the people that when you, matter of fact, go to that too. Matthew's the 24th chapter. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 15.
Yeah, because you got guys in the church reading that, and they'll just read it. And then they'll just they'll read right past it. And then if you ask them, like we asked Raymond on Fordham Road, I said, what does that mean, Raymond? What does that mean? And he didn't understand. He didn't know what it meant. Go ahead. Say, what's your name? What's your name, first of all? My name is Raymond. What's your name? All right? Now, one of the brothers, Yohannabar, ran into him and talked to him. And then he said, I'm one of them Israelites. So they, shook hands and they talked and everything, Because Raymond saw that we were right. Because you got them people in the churches, they'll read a scripture and they'll just read right through it and won't give you the understanding of what it meant. They'll say it's talking about now. See, the Antichrist. It might be Barack Obama. He's going to enter into Jerusalem. When he goes into that temple, no, that's not the fulfillment. The fulfillment already took place. Go ahead, brother.
All right, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 15. When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
That's why the Lord said, whoso readeth, let him understand. Because if you don't understand it, you ain't got no business reading it. Read that again.
When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
Yeah, now I don't know if you can find it, but I had an article there where it says how he actually entered. If you go to Wikipedia, if you go back to Wikipedia, or you go to my favorites, and speak for a minute.
Right, so that's basically what it is. It's basically a historical account. The book of Daniel's 9th chapter. Temple was destroyed during the time of the Romans in 70 AD. That's basically that's the breakdown. And like the Elder Tara was saying, if you want to get deeper into it, you do your own research. We'll give you a certain amount of information, but you do your own research. You go out there and you look up things. You look up about the emperors. If you want to know particulars, because sometimes brother be like, oh, what does this precept? Well, it says him. What does that mean? Now you gotta go into this you gotta put your own work in, so to speak, and the Lord will work with you. If you be a man of the Lord will work with you and start opening up your spirit to start understanding certain things. You're not gonna just get this just by sitting there and just accepting everything we tell you. You gotta go out there and you gotta do your own research.
So when you try to add this up, that's why I don't go into that math too much. So you got to take away 7 years from that 70 weeks. Like I said, I'm not going to go all into the math of it at this particular time. But the key that we're looking for is 490 years. It says, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment. So we just pulled up some information. It said 515 and 515 BC to restore and to rebuild Jerusalem unto the Messiah. The prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built. The street represents the streets of Jerusalem again, and the wall, even in troublous times. It says, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off. So there's hints right there. If you want to get into the exact math, you go ahead and do it. But all we need to know is the 70 weeks goes back to the time of the commandment by Cyrus to build the temple, of us building the temple and finishing the temple, up until the point of the Messiah being cut off, up until the point of the Roman army during the time of Vespasian and Titus flooding the Holy Land. Daniel 9 verse 27, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week, which was 70 AD, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. He said, you're not paying me what I want, I'm not getting the taxes that I want, then I'm gonna destroy your temple, I'm gonna destroy your city. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate. So he's the abomination. He shall make it desolate, even until the consumption, even until he destroys it. Daniel, the 9th chapter, took place already. Almost damn near about 2,000 years ago. This is a prophecy that had been fulfilled. So we're back in the middle of Daniel 9 verse 27. And for the all overspreading of abominations, they were the abominations, he shall make it desolate. Or the Roman armies through his Titus command shall make it desolate. Even until the consumption, even until they completely destroy the place. And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. You can really go into the history of Daniel, the 9th chapter, and put all the numbers together. I just gave you kind of like a brief breakdown, and that's all you really need. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom, and it's on to the next one.
Go ahead.
Back in Daniel's 8 and 13. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, how long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression?
Right, when Antiochus Epiphanes went in there and defiled the temple. Go ahead.
To give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot. And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, and he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed.
Now that's talking about when you add that up, that adds up to a little bit more than 6 years. And when you go into the history, I don't know if the brother could get that. Well, just put in Antiochus Epiphanes. You can either put that in there or you can put Hanukkah, because it goes into the story when Antiochus defiled the temple. And the history should tell you for about 6 years. All right, go ahead.
All right, it says, Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden underfoot? And he said unto me, Unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed.
He didn't, because it wasn't meant for Daniel to understand it. It's meant for us to understand it. That's why he in Daniel the 12th chapter said these books. Matter of fact, get that. Daniel 12. I believe that's the second or the third verse.
Daniel chapter 2 verse 12 verse 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Yeah, so the book was closed. So this whole Bible was closed. So the prophecies were closed, because the prophets that received these visions and these prophecies, they didn't understand it. Because even when the angel, Most High sent down the angel to break it down to them, they still didn't understand it. Then they got sick. So who understand it? We understand it, because we're the prophets coming back. But they don't give you a year. I know we have some document where it says that he was in there for a number of years, 6 years.
It just says here 170.
Gosh, something wrong here.
Let's jump back to Daniel 8. Daniel chapter 8.
Verse 11. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away.
Bam, it says, and by him was the daily sacrifice taken away. Go ahead.
And the place of his sanctuary was cast down.
And the place of his sanctuary was cast down. The temple sacrifices was put to a complete stop. Right. He slaughtered the pig on the altar. He put sacrifices and altars of Jupiter into the temple. He pretty much cut the sacrifices.
Yep.
You know, because according to the sacrifice, according to the law, what is it? Somebody grab Exodus 29 real quick. I think it's verse 38, if I'm not mistaken. Just for the, edification purposes. I think it's verse 38. Exodus 29 and 38, I think.
Exodus 29 and 38. It says, Now this is that which thou shalt offer upon the altar. 2 lambs of the first year, day by day continually.
Day by day continually. So according to the law, day by day continually, we're supposed to offer 2 lambs on the altar. Continually. Day by day. Every morning, every evening. Right? So what did he do? He took away the morning and the evening sacrifice. When you, like Elder Yashawamba goes into, like what Elder Yashawamba was going to earlier, once Esau knew that he can cut the sacrifice off, that separates us from our power.
Yeah. It all should be one people.
The new world order.
Hey, I'm sorry, what you guys at? Hey, there's going to be another abomination of desolation. Yahweh Shai had prophesied about it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because he mentioned 70 AD. But it's a whole nother one. You know what I'm saying? This Edomite, man. Let's actually jump back to Daniel 8. We can read verse 11 again.
All right. Daniel 8 verse 11. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down.
Go ahead.
And an host was given him against the daily sacrifice by reason of transgression, and it cast down the truth to the ground.
Daniel chapter 11, man, is very, very. You want to, it's a hard breakdown. I'm not gonna say
it covers a lot of time.
It covers a lot of the Syrian wars. The first Syrian war, But let's get verse 36. Okay, let's jump back to Daniel 8 and kind of just read through.
All right. What verse was on?
12? 13.
13. All right. Daniel chapter 8 verse 13. Then I heard one saint speaking, and another saint said unto that certain saint which spake, How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden down underfoot. And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days.
Or evenings and mornings. When you get that word days, it goes into the evenings and mornings. All right, because you had the evening sacrifice and you had the morning sacrifice that took place according to the custom of our law.
It's Exodus, yep.
So when it says 2,300 days, all right, if you count the number of years from when the time that the sacrifice stopped to Hanukkah, which is roughly about like 4 years maybe, it's about 1,150, 1,500, 1,400 days, right? So it says it's going to be 2,300 days, which, to make it simple, is from the time when the sacrifice stopped to when Judas Maccabees came on the scene and we restored the temple in Hanukkah, or Chanukah. That's that time frame.
It says, and he looked on the Kenites, which is Hamites, and he took up his parable and said, strong is thy dwelling place, and thou puttest thy nest in a rock. Nevertheless, the Kenites shall be wasted until Ashur shall carry thee away captive. And there's going to be certain nations that's going, that's going to be overseers or taskmasters over other nations. They're still going to get their ass kicked, but they, there's going to be a certain order set up, after a certain period of time. And he took up his parable and said, alas, who shall live when the Most High doeth this? Which let you know this is talking about this time now. And ships shall come from the coast of Kittim, and shall afflict Ashur, and shall afflict Eber, and he also shall perish forever. And Balaam rose up and went and returned to his place, and Balak also went his way. And
no, read a little bit further up.
And I beheld, and lo, the eagle rose upon her talons, and spake to her feathers, saying, Watch not all at once.
Now the feathers, each feather represent a Caesar. Then you had contrary feathers, which were like minor Caesars. You had some Caesars that ruled for like 6 months.
But let the heads be preserved for the last. And I beheld, and lo, the voice went not out of her heads, but from the midst of her body. And I numbered the contrary feathers, and behold, there were 8 of them. For some of them were set up, but ruled not. After this I looked, and behold, the 12 feathers appeared no more, nor the 2 little feathers, and there was no more upon the eagle's body, but 3 heads that rested, and 6 little wings. Then saw I also that 2 little feathers divided themselves from the 6, and remained under the head that was upon the right side. For the 4 continued in their place. And I beheld, and lo, the feathers that were under the wings thought to set up themselves, and to have the rule. And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more.
Yeah, because there was a, I don't know if you have the timeline there. Okay, that mentioned them 3. And they were all contrary feathers, all right? Just like it says. Now, if you want to take the time out and go deep into the history, because like I said, if we went totally into the history point by point, we'll be doing this series for the next 3 months, okay? But we just give, like I said, we're giving you an idea of how these biblical timelines work and how prophecy works. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And I beheld, and lo, the 2 that remained thought also on themselves to reign. And when they so thought, behold, there awaked one of the heads that were at rest, namely it that was in the midst, for that was greater than the 2 other heads. And then I saw the 2 other heads were joined with it, and behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the 2 feathers under the wing that would have reigned.
Who was that? That was Vespasian. Read again. You see how it comes all together? See, you're not going to get this from Comfy, because Comfy's too busy going to a goddamn club committing adultery. So you're not going to, but hold up. He's supposed to teach you all things. He ain't teaching you this. He's not teaching you this. He might teach you that Jupiter is Peter, which is total bullshit. You're going to find out, man. All those guys are trying to come up on our level. You're not going to attain to our level. Because we didn't put ourselves up on this level. The Most High put us up on that level. Yahweh show me how Shai put us up on this level. That's why Lahab made that one damn video. Because he don't know nothing, man. Go ahead, read that again.
And I beheld, and lo, there was one set up, but shortly it appeared no more. And the second was sooner away than the first. And I beheld, and lo, the 2 that remained thought also on themselves to reign. And when they so thought, behold, there awaked one of the heads that were at rest, namely it that was in the midst, for that was greater than the 2 other heads.
Because that's reincarnation, because the 3 heads in the beginning came back into power. They were first Julius Caesar, Crassus, and Pompey. Then when they came back as Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian. And they killed the minor feathers. There was 2 left, and they killed, and Vespasian killed both of them. Go ahead.
And then I saw that the 2 other heads were joined with it. And behold, the head was turned with them that were with it, and did eat up the 2 feathers under the wing that would have.
So who ate up the 2 minor feathers? Vespasian. I'm sorry, was it Vespasian or Titus? I'm sorry, Vespasian. Go ahead. Yeah, because Vespasian was the father. Titus and Domitian were the 2 sons. Okay, go ahead.
But this head put the whole earth in fear, and bare rule in it over all those that dwelt upon the earth with much oppression.
Yeah, because that's when they started oppressing the nation of Israel, and it was him that wanted to destroy Israel, and he started to destroy Israel, the Israelites, but it was his son that actually took them down. Okay, that's why they made a coin commemorating Titus taking down Jerusalem. All right, and we have that also. If you go to
porque la profecía vino de los viejos tiempos.
Y nosotros no andamos aquí inventando explicaciones a esta Biblia, man. Estamos dando la 100% derecho, verdad.
We know his family. This dude ain't no, that boy ain't no prophet. He ain't nobody. You know, you can't have that same mind state. You can't look at it as, oh, these guys, they're just some guys. The Most High is going to send somebody to teach you in the last days. Who is it? Who came and taught you? Who came and, you know, broke everything down, man? That with it, because the Yahushua is not here, so his spirit is residing in someone to teach. See? And that's and we say the elders and apostles of great millstone, man. And their students on down. That's
and plan. And we are witnesses to the secrets. And we're going out here, all right, and we're prophesying.
They just now understand it's coming to us. They come up against us, but they get these breakdowns from us. They're exegesis. That's it. So the Father said, you know, they saw the
chariots,
ocean, the body of water, the Red Sea opened up, which really was a Gulf Square, not the Red Sea. All right? If anybody got a problem with that, drop me a line, right? We're going to talk about it. There wasn't no Red Sea. There was a Gulf Square. But it was connected to the Red Sea, so that's why they called it the Red Sea.